Morning, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining. So, in this session, we will go over the stocks that are requested by our members, and some of the stocks that members on the call would be interested in analyzing. So, before going to the stocks that we would be discussing during this session, I would just like to remind everyone that this is our GMT website. We will have our stocks and crypto courses coming up. So the next course which is starting is the futures and options advanced course, which will be starting on 9th of April, and the stocks and crypto course, which would be starting close to end of May. This date is tentative, depending on how many people enroll in the course. We could also start earlier. The course which is starting on 9th of April, it's a 6 weeks course and would be focused towards options primarily and option strategies. The stocks and crypto course is for anyone who is starting trading and comprises of fundamental and technical analysis, which would be beneficial for even those who have been trading for some time. So with that information, now let's go on to the analysis part of our today's session. So we will start with the Tsx Index Analysis, as we have been doing. So this week, TSX, it made a high of 22,150. We had expected as well last week. In terms of indicators, if you look at Williams CCI, all the indicators are in oversold region. So this correction which happened mid of the week, you could still expect some more correction, although the last candle is a green. In the coming days, it won't be a surprise to see some correction, at least looking at the daily chart. If we look on the weekly chart, TSX on weekly chart, it has given a breakout. The previous resistance, it has broken that resistance, and the last candle, it is at the weekly chart. If you look at the indicators, all the indicators are in overbought region, and MACD, if you notice, is almost converging. So at this point, if you are holding any of the TSX stocks, especially energy stocks, you should be planning to book your profits at least partially. You could hold 10 to 20% of your positions, just if you have been on those positions for long term, but would be better to book at 75 to 80% of your positions profit if you had entered sometime 3 to 4 weeks back or even earlier. Since the indicators are in overbought region, expecting corrections, especially on TSX, won't be a surprise. Any questions on TSX analysis, or anyone would like to add anything?
Good morning.
Good morning, Rafakat. Yeah.
Sorry.
So no problem. So let's go on If there are no questions, let's go on to Nasdaq. So for Nasdaq, if we look on the weekly chart, it has from last 2 weeks, it has shown reversal and is now on uptrend. The indicators are still in buy range. So if you have been holding some positions, you could still hold for a few more weeks. This is for those positions which you have entered for few weeks to few months. For those taking short-term positions on a day chart, as we had discussed last week that we had expected some correction, it gave a dip and then market still continued. It didn't have correction, but just few red days, and then the market still continued on uptrend, especially if you look at large cap stocks like Apple. They have rallied for last 9 sessions. Looking at the last candle, the market has still pulled up and closed near the 100 EMA of 14,770. At this point, on the daily chart, the indicators are in overbought region. So if you still notice some correction on the daily chart, that shouldn't be a surprise. This EMA 50 on daily chart is acting as a strong support. If you notice here on these 2 sessions, it acted as resistance. Once it broke that resistance, it has acted as support in last 3 sessions. So if it corrects, you could still expect this could form as support again. So 14,450, 14,440 could be the support. Another EMA 10 is also reaching EMA, about to cross EMA 50. So this shows that the market is gaining strength. The uptrend has been noticed on the daily chart, and weekly chart has taken uptrend. So based on this analysis, if you are on some of the positions for medium to long term, it's very good time to add to your positions also if you would like to increase your position. Since Utkarsh requested about Dow, so
if I you change this to days, and I have the question with the Nasdaq for the inverted hammer. So when you see that there is a inverted hammer after at the third one, like this one, so it defines that there is a bottom reversal, so will we consider it as a reversal, this inverted hammer?
So in normal cases, you could have expected market to go further down. However, there's positivity in the market, and this EMA 50 acted as the support. So in the next session, the market almost touched the same level and then got pulled up. So with this candle come up to mid Bollinger Band, but instead of taking support at mid Bollinger Band, which is 20 EMA, it took support at 50 EMA and got pulled up. And this has happened because of the uptrend sentiment in the market.
Okay.
Since we have had long downtrend, the last 2 weeks have shown reversal. If you look here, there's a reversal sentiment because of which it got pulled up.
Okay.
And with this last candle, you can still expect. continuation of uptrend. Yeah. Yes,
I think
Ray?
the last candle is more of a doji, right?
Yeah, with a long lower wick.
Yeah. So it should go up still further. Right?
Yes, it's a downward price rejection.
Rejection, yeah.
It's almost a dragonfly,
Mhm.
although it's at the top.
Yep.
So this
Thank you.
EMA 58 acted as resistance in these two sessions. In the next session, if it breaks this EMA 50 resistance, then it would go to the next levels.
I don't know much about EMA, so we will get that in future lectures.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Those will be coming in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Vivek will talk about that.
Yeah. So these lines are EMS. You will get to know about these EMS. There are different EMS based on what time of interval you would like to see the EMS getting used. The this blue one is 20 EMA, which usually is the baseline for another indicator called Bollinger Band, which also will be introduced. Okay, so you also wanted to know about Dow. So Dow index. And if you see Dow's index, it's almost similar, not exactly same as Nasdaq, but in terms of overall long-term pattern, if you notice, it was on downtrend, and from past 2 weeks, the trend has reversed and we have seen uptrend. Last week, based on our last Sunday's analysis, we had mentioned that there would be small correction, although we had expected correction little further, but with the market momentum, it seems to have taken support at around 343. And last two candles still show it could go further up, although other indicators are almost in overbought region. But in terms of the candle formation, there is still uptrend on daily chart. And if you look at the weekly chart, it has touched the mid Bollinger Band. So at this price, until there is a breakout, because currently it is still at the resistance. If you look at the last 1, 2, 3, and 4 candles, they have almost closed at the 348 to 350 range. It gave a small correction, got pulled up again, and has closed at the same level. So next session, that is on Monday, I would be little cautious to see where the market is going, whether it is able to break this resistance and go further up, or it is facing resistance and gives another correction. And this time, it, unlike what we saw in the last week, it could take little further correction. The reason being, on the weekly chart, because it is at the mid Bollinger Band, so expecting a small correction before it goes further up would be normal. However, if the market has positivity and the volume of buyers is higher, it could break the resistance as well. So on Monday, I would say, even if you are not trading, that's still fine. You can watch how it trades on Monday, and depending on Monday's trend towards the close, you can either buy if it breaks this resistance, or wait if it faces resistance, and then wait for it to drop up to mid Bollinger Band.
Okay.
Okay.
And if we take if we consider the interest rates by America will it affect the market? Like they are increasing the interest rates in coming, or inflation rates are also increasing.
So those are mostly factored in. If you see from January, those news have been affecting the trend, and now it has almost become public that the interest rates are going to be increased. It's just about by how much, in how many phases they are increased. So whenever such meetings happen, you could see dip, but it won't be like what we have seen in last 2 months. The overall trend had reversed from last 2 months. It was on downtrend. Now we are seeing a reversal of trend from downtrend to uptrend. So
Oh.
what you would see is a small correction, not the change in the trend. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So are we okay with, since we are discussing indexes, let's discuss about SPY as well, which would be very much similar to what we saw for NDX. Yes. Again, the last candle on SPY also shows further uptrend. Although the indicators are in overbought region, suggested earlier that wait for the trading session on Monday. Second is, if you are holding some position, then have loss at the low of the last session. Although we are looking at the index, the same could apply on whatever stock you are holding. You can hold with stop loss at the low of last session. So just as an example, if in case you were trading on SPY, because of this candle, we are expecting it could go further up, but since it is in overbought region, it could face resistance and take small correction as well. In order to avoid losing, you can have stop loss at the low, which is 448 here, 448.43. So you can have stop loss at 443, which will make sure that if it corrects, you are still closing your position in profit, assuming that you would have entered a few sessions before, or about 1 to 2 weeks back. If you would have entered, you will be in profit. So you will be able to book profit with your, even if your stop loss executes. Okay. So let's move on to stocks. Are we good with the indexes analysis?
Yes, Kamal.
Yeah.
Great. So Hitesh had requested about TLRY. And for those who have any request, please feel free to add details here so we can quickly take in our analysis. Okay, so talking about TLRY, which is a cannabis stock. And if you notice, cannabis stocks have been in downtrend since very long time. Last year was a complete downtrend for the cannabis stock. So last week, especially on Tillery, the last two sessions, it has had a huge, in Thursday and Friday, it has moved up quite a lot, about 50%, over 50%. So currently at this price, it has gone above this resistance, which it faced for more than 6 to 7 sessions. It had faced this resistance, which it broke and it went up. At the current price, if you look on the weekly chart, because of the last session, it's almost a green Marubazu. And upper Bollinger Band is at 11. The next weekly resistance is at 10.3. So it could reach, but not immediately. And at current price, before reaching the level of 10.3, it should take a small correction. Although good thing about this is that it was not a gap up. If it would have been gap up, then definitely it would have closed the gap up. But on last session itself, it had a long lower wick which almost closed this gap. However, you can still expect it to drop once, take support around this level where it had faced resistance before, and then definitely not at the good buy price because all the indicators are in overbought region. For those who are taking short position, they can sell, but for Hitesh and those who are those who are at the initial phase of the technical analysis based trading, we would suggest not to go into short positions at the moment.
Okay, because it in the aftermarket it fell by say 8% also.
Yeah, about 4.5%.
Yeah.
So you can expect it to again drop down at least until this price where it had taken, which acted as support for some time here, then acted as resistance here and here. So you can expect around this level it to take support again and then go further up. So if you want to buy, then wait for it to correct and drop down around 7.
Okay.
Buy in small quantity, not in bigger quantity. Because
So I
when
was just looking the weekly some movers this thing. So I just looked at it. It moved 52% last week. So I was just trying to.
Yeah, and similar to this, you could also look at other cannabis stocks. They would also have had, because there was some news about the
US
cannabis sector itself, because of some news, all the
Yeah.
cannabis stock had moved up, and Tillery being one of the leading ones, it had jumped up quite a bit on last session.
So I looked at the other one. They were every stock was 8 to 10% up.
Right. Yeah.
I
So
sent the article
ones
also,
which have, yeah, thanks for sharing that article. So other stocks in the sector, you can look at other stocks which have not moved much and could go up in the coming days, namely HEXO, then there is CWeb, and there's also ACB, Aurora Cannabis. So all the stocks in the cannabis sector, because they have been down for quite a long time, you can expect there, once the entire sector reverses, it could be good for medium to long term holds, because they have been on downtrend since about over a year. You can expect them to reverse and could be good for medium to long term holds. Okay. Any further question, Hitesh, on Tillery?
no.
Great. So we'll go on next to QS and MMTLP, which is requested by Vivek. Quantums. Yeah. So Vivek, you have entered at 17.6.
Yes, Kamal.
So you entered in the last session or a day before?
Few days back.
Yeah. And
At
I think
17.6, then it went to 18.2. I should have exited there, but
right.
I just held it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Unless you,
I was expecting 23, but I don't know
okay.
how long would it take.
Yeah, if you have entered for medium to long term, then it's okay. Otherwise, you should have a stop loss because your position's around 16,
Okay.
15.8 to 15.95 or 16, because it's almost bearish engulfing if you look at last candle.
Mhm.
Though towards the end it got slightly pulled up, but you can still expect it to drop. Let's see on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, it's still good. So 21 is a
Yeah,
good
21.
target.
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
21 would be a good target. If you have entered for few months, then you can hold it for 21. But either you plan to add some more positions around 16 or have a stop loss here and re-enter.
Okay.
Maybe stop loss at 16.35. But then if you are planning to re-enter around 16, then you would be just saving 35 cents.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So see, if you would like to add to your position once it touches the mid Bollinger Band, that could also be a strategy, knowing that you are aiming for 21 as the target. Yeah, just on
Okay. I'm just thinking if
17.6, because it was in overbought region that time you enter. So now you might have to average it
I
out.
didn't see the weekly at that point. I mean, because it went to 18.02. I should have exited there. I just held. That was the mistake. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean,
I
your
was thinking if it comes again to 18.02, I would exit and then re-enter at 16.
okay. Yeah, you can, maybe you can keep target, and instead of 18.02, I would suggest to keep it at 17.9 or 17.95.
Okay.
Okay, because if you notice here, it 18.2, next session was 17.85. So rather around few cents higher than your buy price, so that you close that position and then you can re-enter. If it
Okay.
gives a spike on the next session.
Okay. Yeah, it should like usually goes up and then come down. So
Right. If that week gets formed and your position can get closed in few cents profit or break even, say, and then you can re-enter. Or you can just hold and plan to increase your position once it takes support around
no.
60, close to 60.
I'm not planning to do that.
Okay. Okay. So I think based on analysis, just see if you can close first and
Yeah.
then plan to re-enter.
Okay.
Okay. So next is MMPLP. This is OTC stock, is it?
I mean, Kamal, like this, I got as a dividend when TRCH become MMAT. So I had like 300 shares of this, which was not tradable at that time. Then it became tradable. They said like they will give some dividend or something like $20 per share or something, and I'm holding for like last 6 months. By the time, I mean, it got tradable only recently. Until then, it was not tradable. If you look in a monthly chart, maybe a couple of months, that's it. So I'm just thinking like I don't know when is the dividend payout. and this and MMAT now similar. They both are trading around this price only. See,
Yeah,
it's only few months.
MMAT, I think I'm also holding some position. When we are looking on the monthly chart.
Yeah, only a couple of months they are. But
Both of them are not showing dividend.
no, this is actually the dividend. MMTLP is
Both.
kind of a preferred share that they gave to holders who are doing the TRCH to MMAT transformation. At that time, who all were holding, they received this as a share.
Mhm.
And this
Okay.
will be done as a dividend or something. This, if you are having 10 shares of this, they would pay for one share, whatever be the price, and then for 20 shares multiply by it. So that was the idea behind this. So I'm holding it for a while. I'm thinking like whether I should, I'm expecting it would go to 2 and then sell it off, or because I got this for free. I did not pay anything.
Okay, then this is good for you. So you already got that. Instead of dividend, you got the stock. That transaction is already done. So you already have in your portfolio.
Yeah, I
Okay.
already have this on my portfolio. I don't, since they are telling that the dividend payout is coming, so I'm just kind of waiting. Planning to hold till the end of March or end of April maximum, and then sell it off.
Yeah, because this MMTLP, it doesn't show dividend or dividend yield or even record date. So just check if you can confirm from some other sources whether
Yeah, I can send you
they
that link.
are
Yeah.
having any dividend due and such.
Yes.
Yeah. So because Webull is not showing, so at least checking on their site or some other source which confirms that they do have dividend due, then it would be worth to it. Otherwise, in terms of stock, you can plan to book around 1.6 or you said about 2, so close to 1.94, 1.95 also looks good, which is the upper Bollinger Band.
Sure.
That you can plan to exit in about a week or 2.
Okay.
Since we are looking on the day chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So next we will take HND, which is, I think it's a inverse stock for oil index. Yes.
For the natural gas.
Yeah, natural gas. So this is an ETF and it's minus 2x daily bear ETF, which means it is inverse of the oil, inverse of natural gas index, and 2x means it's a leverage. So if natural gas goes up by, let's say, 1%, this HND goes down by 2% because it is 2x. It is called leverage index, and it's a bear index which goes inverse of bull index. So if natural gas goes down, then this will go up. If natural gas goes up, then this goes down. So along with HND, you should also be looking at HNU, I believe. Yes. So natural gas 2x daily bull. This follows the natural gas index and is 2x leverage. HND is bear index, bear leverage. And this is especially good for those who would like to benefit when the market is in downtrend and not take short position. With bear in ETFs, you can benefit with the downtrend. And since you are not taking short position, you don't have to worry about margin and the interest that you pay on the margin. Now coming to the analysis for HND, it is currently touching at the lower Bollinger Band, and especially because of the war that's happening in Europe, natural gas and oil, you can expect prices to go further up, which means this HND can go further down. Although based on technical indicators, these are in oversold region and is attractive in terms of technical aspects. But knowing the geopolitical issue that's happening in Europe, overall natural gas and oil sector, you can still expect prices to either go up or remain at the current levels. However, if you are looking for few months to hold this position, you can enter, and around, let's see. So if you look at longer horizon, it is actually at low from about 2014. So it is low from more than 8 years. And it could still further go down. If you look at the weekly chart, the lower Bollinger Band is at this lower Bollinger Band is even further down, 2.86, which is too much. Looking at $7 stock. So what I would suggest for HND, if you want to still go trade with HND, enter in small quantity, knowing the other factors. And as you could recall, Tahir had mentioned that news affects more than the technical analysis. So the war in Europe could have more impact on this. Although if it reverses, it can easily reach 9.9 or $10. So which would be about $2 per share could be profit. But you have to enter with stop loss.
Yes, enter with the stop.
Make sure that if in case it drops down further, you're not losing.
Yes. So what will be the stop loss? It depends on how much like we enter. Like if we enter at 7.14, the stop loss will be.
Okay, so stop loss for this, because we have seen the long-term trend and it is at the low for from over 8 years, it has not reached these levels. So the stop loss for this would be based on an indicator, as you are seeing here. This would be covered in the course. So this indicator is called ATR.
Okay.
ATR is average to range. This, what it is showing is not the price. What it shows is, because we are looking on the weekly chart,
Yes.
and its value is 4.81, which means in a week you can expect this stock or this index to move by $4.8. So if you are looking to trade based on weekly chart, your stop loss would be $4.8 from where it is currently. If you are trading on a daily chart, the ATR is quite less. So 0.79, which is about 80 cents. Currently it is at 7.2. So your stop loss could be around 6.4. So basically current price minus ATR, and that would give your stop loss.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so we are at 12:43. Any last request? We have Rakesh and someone has joined with Galaxy. Can we know your name? is not comfortable in unmuting. That's fine. So let's take one last request if anyone has, and then we can call it off for the session.
Something Kamal you follow.
So Kamal, if you can go through Shopify.
Okay, let's take Shopify. And I follow Shopify, so that Shopify is a request. I actually entered Shopify on Friday, and I have taken a call.
Something we can enter this week.
Yes, we had discussed last week that plan to enter Shopify near the mid Bollinger Band, and if you notice, this entire week the mid Bollinger Band is almost flat, which means it is at the same level that we had discussed in the last week. I entered on Friday. I made an early entry, but for those who are following Shopify, watch on Monday for an entry around 640. This mid Bollinger Band is at 632. So an entry around 640. The reason why I mentioned is because most of the time you will notice for Shopify, it gets pulled up and you want your order to execute. That's why buying few dollars above is still okay. Or if you want to strictly follow the indicators, your buy could be around 632 to 635.
On Monday,
Can you see the hourly chart?
No, this is on daily chart.
Yeah, can you go to 1 hour?
Right. Okay.
Just click
Yeah,
1 hour.
Yeah.
Because in trading view, it shows that there is a crossover for the
660 was on. So 660 was what I was also looking. As I said that I entered on Friday. The lower Bollinger Band on daily chart was at 660. If you look here, that was the price I was also looking. But if you notice here, it got pulled up at 666.
yeah.
So I made an early entry, and I didn't wait for 660 because it trades in extended market. So I was thinking that it could go down or go up in the pre-market on Monday. And because I was buying a call, I entered instead of waiting. Also, another reason, on Mondays, I'm usually busy at work. So I wanted to make an entry. But for those who have planned to buy in the coming week, let's see on 4-hour chart as well. Yeah, and this could justify why I plan to enter. So if you notice on 4-hour chart, it touched the mid Bollinger Band and formed a green candle. That's when I decided that I would like to enter. And this I'm talking about Friday. If you look closely, we are looking on the 4-hour chart. It touched the mid Bollinger Band. It had dropped down, got pulled up, and then next candle it formed green candle. I was looking both on 1-hour chart, 4-hour chart, and 15-minute chart. So based on, so especially on 4-hour chart, it has shown a reversal. On Monday, so this is weekly chart, let's see, daily chart. But still, because mid Bollinger Band is at 632, it could form a weak, take support and reverse up. So if you are looking to enter, about second half of Monday or towards close of Monday, or even in aftermarket could be good time to enter Shopify. Just wait for confirmation, like what Vivek pointed out, that seeing the trend on 1-hour chart or even shorter interval 15-minute chart to see whether it has reverse is good thing, so that when you are entering, you are sure that it has reverse on the shorter time interval, then you enter. Okay. So an entry around I would still say 640 to
640.
660. And for target, the first target could be 790, sorry, 690.
Yeah.
690, and we are talking about stop on NYSE, and 690 could be the first target. Second could be this 880 or 885. If it goes above 790, then 885 would be the second target. For those who are planning to hold even longer or are holding and planning to average down, just make sure that when you are adding your position, your average is lower than 1080. So when it comes near mid Bollinger Band, you get a chance to close your position in either at break even or some profit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. So we'll take last question from Rakesh, as we have our class at 1 o'clock. So we'll take one last question. Yes, Rakesh. Rakesh, we see your hands. You have raised hand. Please unmute and ask your question.
Unmute. Yeah. Now I think you can listen me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, sir, my question is that I wanted, like, I have stock in Apple,
Mhm.
and like I have 40,000 worth of investment in Apple, and like for next 1 or 2 years, should I continue my investment with Apple only, or should I go with the Google or some other company? Which one would you prefer, and which one would give me the better return? Any idea?
Okay, great. So that's a good question. And if you notice Apple, in the last 9 session, we also discussed in our class yesterday that in the last 9 session, it has been giving closing, which is higher closing. And low of Apple has been higher lows, which means market has strong positive sentiment with Apple, and market being the large cap, having largest market cap, it affects most of the indexes. Okay. So for your investment, if you already have your major portion invested in Apple, that's a good thing. You can continue holding Apple. Along with Apple, Google and Amazon, because they have announced split, and that split is going to happen in coming months. So Google and Amazon, both of them, if you manage to buy at a correction price, not at the current price, once they take correction, like it gave 3 chances after it split was announced, it gave 3 chances to buy around 2,500. Look here. So similarly, if it takes small correction and you manage to enter around 2,750, you can invest some portion of your investment in Google, knowing that it is going to split. If you buy now, after split, this stock, because it will be cheaper in terms of stock value, more and more buyers will come in, and the overall price of the stock is expected to go up. Okay.
So as compared to Apple, Google would be better for the next 2 years. What do you think?
I'm talking about next few months, because Amazon and Google are going to split in next few months. So this this profit because of split will be immediate, means in next few months. If you are thinking to hold for about 2 years as well, when we look at monthly chart, when you are talking about a longer horizon, we look at longer time interval for analysis. In your case, since you're looking in terms of years, your analysis will be on monthly chart. And when you look at Google chart on monthly time frame,
Yeah.
you see it has been rallied, has corrected or traded sideways for few months, and now it is reversing up. So if you buy around this time for a time frame of 2 years, it's a good investment as well. In terms of looking at what target you would be expecting if you buy now, it would be above $3,000. Your target in terms of at what price you would be booking your profits after 2 years. So that would easily be about $3,000 because we are looking at two years time frame.
Yeah.
Right. So
no, actually, what what I am thinking that now Apple should have a saturation because the stock split so many times and it has reached certain value, and it has already put the the products what the mobile and the computer the market needs. Now what would be the next now their earning would be some sort of saturated. However, in the case of Google has a still potential to grow the company and earn from the different sources, right?
Apple is coming up for car, so you'll expect the stock should go up for Apple. So they're coming up with electric cars.
I know, but you are right. Yeah, I know, and that is why I hold it. But I don't know when they are going to announce, because
I think they have mentioned they expedited it. I think 23 or 24. Other 2 years they'll be there.
Nice.
It was earlier 2025. And now they are expediting that project, so they might come up with in 2023 or 2024.
Yeah, otherwise Apple is a very aggressive company that I have observed.
Yeah, so what we would suggest is that you keep your investment in Apple. You don't have to remove your investment from Apple. You can reduce and you can add to your investments in other stocks like Google, and also because you're looking at 2 years time frame, I would also suggest, and this is my personal suggestion, about because you mentioned you're looking at 2 years time frame, metaverse, Facebook, although the Facebook stock after they have renamed to Meta, it has suffered, but since you're looking at 2 years time frame, Facebook could be much more rewarding. And the CEO is young, the company is doing a lot of work in innovative fields, especially in terms of virtual reality, metaverse, and also in
artificial intelligence,
upcoming Web3.
I understand.
In terms of Web3. So you're looking at next thing in terms of your investment for 2 years or plus. Facebook is one of the stock that you could look. Currently, it is at $200. For a longer
200 is a support.
This is my personal opinion, and I would suggest you to do some additional research on your end as well. Since you mentioned about the time frame which you are looking, that's why I'm recommending Facebook.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
thank you.
Kamal, what is the next support for Apple?
Apple next support, I think it was 165, and I'm just rushing because we are 3 minutes into the class.
Sure.
Yeah. So Apple 163. Actually, support is, I think, I had noticed. Yeah, 165.
165. Yeah. Okay.
165. 165.5 to be more sure that your order executes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Great. So thank you all for joining. It was Good discussion. I'll
Thank you.
stop
Thank you.
sharing and we'll
Thank you.
meet again at 12 o'clock most likely. Thank you. We'll talk
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.